Every layer within these walls is a time machine. Each stripe represents a separate volcanic eruption frozen in stone. But this isn't just any volcanic story. By the end of this drive, you'll know how a single volcano collapsed, rebuilt itself, and left behind this spectacular canyon. Welcome to Roadside Geology on the Rock Record. I'm Jess, a geologist, and today we're driving Waimea Canyon, the Grand Canyon of the Pacific, to uncover one of Hawaii's most dramatic geological stories. It's pretty windy up here, so let's hit the road. Alrighty, aloha, welcome to Kauai. Today we are going to do some roadside geology. Very excited.
There's a chicken in the car rental parking lot.
So somehow, my boyfriend and I have become the weird water sports couple. And this is today's activity. Before we get to Waimea Canyon, we're starting our day underground, floating through plantation-era irrigation canals cut straight through volcanic rock. These ditches were originally built to move water for the sugar fields, but for us, they're the perfect excuse to zoom out and ask, how did Kauai itself come to be? All right, first, I think we get outfitted with suyer. Kauai is the oldest of the main Hawaiian islands, born about 5 million years ago when the Pacific plate drifted over the Hawaiian hotspots. At its peak, the volcano was enormous, something that rivaled Mauna Loa on the Big Island. The volcano kept growing for hundreds of thousands of years until the shield building stage ended about 4 million years ago. Alrighty, so towards the end of its life, Kauai's summit collapsed into a giant caldera, the largest ever found in Hawaii, stretching up to 12 miles across. Then the island started to fracture, and massive chunks of the volcano slid into the sea in landslides so big that they likely triggered tsunamis larger than anything humans have ever recorded. The island that we see today is a remnant of that once mighty shield, slowly whittled away by waves, rivers, and rain. Sorry. Oh, crap. And this is where the tubing comes in. Kauai is one of the wettest places on Earth. Mount Waialeale, near the island's center, gets up to 500 inches of rain every single year. That water has cut valleys thousands of feet deep and powered rivers like Waimea, which carved the canyon we're heading to next. The irrigation ditches that we're floating through today follow this natural pattern, channeling Kauai's endless water supply across the volcanic slopes. So this section's really interesting. You can see, maybe you can't see, but it's lined with clay. And this is really iron-rich clay from the erosion of the basalt. Here, we can see it maybe a little better.
I've been known to get the public transfer.
Oh, there we go, we got some. So you can see it's kind of that reddish clay that we've been seeing kind of across the island. And basically, the island is just rusting right before our eyes. In case you're wondering, I just spend half my time just spinning around here. I have no balance. Even though Kauai is considered geologically old, it isn't completely done with volcanism. After the main shield building stage, the island went through a quieter post-shield period and then entered what's called the rejuvenated stage. That means small, isolated eruptions can still happen. In fact, Kauai's most recent eruption was only about 150,000 years ago, on the south side near Koloa and Poipu. Those young black rocks around the coastline and little cinder cones are the evidence of this. Geologically speaking, that's like yesterday. It's a reminder that while the island is dominated by erosion today, the hotspot's influence still lingers beneath the surface of the Earth. So in just a few million years, Kauai went from fiery shield volcano to collapsing and sliding apart to the lush, rain-carved paradise that we see now. And the masterpiece of that process is Waimea Canyon, the Grand Canyon of the Pacific, where you can read this entire history written in the rock. This 19-mile drive climbs from Highway 50 all the way to Kauai's highlands. If you want to tag along yourself, we're following pages 283 to 285 of the Roadside Geology Guide by the Geological Society of America. This is the first edition. I highly recommend the second edition. And GSA, if you want to partner up on any of these, you know where to find me.
I might have to hold this.
All right, so we are starting our drive where Waimea Canyon Road branches off of Highway 50, which is the main highway along the southern shore here in Kauai. Right now, we are climbing and winding our way around an ancient sea cliff.
I'm gonna make myself car sick.
This steep and winding road is taking us up the remnant flank of Wailele, the massive shield volcano that built most of Kauai. Shield volcanoes are broad, gently sloping mountains that form from thousands of lava flows. If you want to see one alive, be sure to check out last year's video from Volcanoes National Park where I explain it more in depth on Mauna Loa. Alright, so this isn't actually our first stop, but we saw a sign that said that the Waimea Canyon Lookout, like the main one, is closed for construction. So we're stopping here for our first glimpse of Waimea Canyon. Alright, so if you look behind me, you'll start to see these layered walls. These are Pali basalt flows. Each of these layers represent a separate volcanic eruption that poured down from the original volcano. If you look closely, you might see a slight tilt to them. That's because they're still sitting at the same angle that they were when this was sloping down an active volcano. My GoPro is like really fogged up on the inside. Really struggling with the roadside geology today because there is some construction happening. So we're navigating that and things just are looking like a little bit different. So doing the best we can here.
As we continue our drive, between mileposts 5 and 6, look out your window at what happens when vegetation gets destroyed in Hawaii's wet climate. This severe soil erosion and gullying is basically erosion on fast forward, a preview of the forces that carved Waimea Canyon itself. Closer to milepost 6, there is a great close-up if the road construction isn't blocking the pullout. There is a road cut that reveals Pahoehoe flows. That is the smooth, ropey lava type. But if you look closely, you might notice the red color. This isn't fresh lava red. That is Hawaii rusting. Over thousands of years, iron in the rock has weathered into this natural patina, and it's what gives Waimea Canyon its dramatic red walls.
And this is why we took 2 flights and made this drive. Welcome to one of the world's most stunning landscapes, Waimea Canyon. This canyon is 14 miles long, up to 2,500 feet deep, and it is intensely multicolored and absolutely mind-blowingly stunning. The main lookout was closed for us because of road construction, but there are lots of pullouts all along the way, so just keep your eye out. If you look closely in this canyon, you might notice that tributary valleys only enter from the eastern side. The west side is kind of empty. Geologists puzzled over this for years. In most big canyons, streams flow in from both east and west sides. So what happened here to the other half? This canyon follows the western edge of something called the Machiavelli Graben. It's essentially a massive strip of land that dropped down between faults when part of the original volcano catastrophically slid into the ocean. That collapse likely launched tsunamis bigger than anything else in recorded history. From the main overlooks, you can see 3 distinct geological formations that tell Kauai's complete story.
It is very windy up here.
The Pali basalt makes up most of the western wall of Waimea Canyon. You can see the Machiavelli basalt in the lower canyon directly across from the road, and the dramatic cliffs with waterfalls are carved in the Olokele lavas. Most of these countless lava flows erupted from the summit caldera and drained down this graben on the way to the ocean. The canyon floor literally acts like an ancient highway system of a massive volcano.
So here in the canyon, you might be able to notice some rocks that are kind of weird and sticking up. They almost look like strings. These are dikes, essentially the volcano's plumbing system. They kind of squeeze up through cracks in the earth like toothpaste and then solidify. And they're often a lot harder than the surrounding rock, and that's why they stick up weird. All right, so just a heads up until this point, we haven't had to pay, but coming into this lookout is where you have to pay. So it's a $10 parking fee and then $5 per person. So we ended up paying $20, and that's the state park fee. Hello, cuties. We're getting ready to leave soon. Between the chickens and chasing them out from behind your car and the people at that lookout, getting out of there is like impossible. From the highest lookout, Pu'uhinahina, if you're lucky with the clear weather, you can see all the way to Ni'ihau. You might see a towering cliff on Ni'ihau's eastern flank. That is another slide scarp, evidence that these catastrophic landslides weren't unique to Kauai. On really clear days, you can see Kalalau Rock, 22 miles southwest of Ni'ihau, the remnant of a shield volcano that was once a substantial island, but is now just a tiny ash cone on a submerged volcano. As we continue north, we are winding through the native upland rainforest to the edge of the Olokele Plateau. There appears to be more trees than rocks to look at on this drive. There are two lookouts worth stopping at up here right next to each other. Kalalau Lookout and Pu'uokila Lookout at the western tip of this plateau. As appears to be the theme of this road trip, one of the lookouts that I want to go to is closed. But we're here at this other one. There is a parking fee on this one, but I think our parking from below should be still good. So fair warning on that, just put it on your dash. So far, no chickens in this parking lot. At the western tip of the Olokele Plateau, Hawaii 550 reaches Kalalau Lookout. These overlooks provide views of the Kalalau Valley, which reaches the Nepali shore 3 miles away and 4,000 feet below. Cliffs flanking the valley reveal thin flows of Nepali basalt that poured down the north flank of the Waialeale when it was still a growing shield volcano. Resistant dikes maintain slender ridgelines. If you look carefully at the valley walls, you can see a few dikes cutting vertically through the basalt lava flows. So there you have it, your geological road trip cheat sheet for Waimea Canyon Drive. Some pro tips include starting early because clouds do come in the afternoon, as you can see here, although we looked out and got a pretty clear day, so I'm very excited about that. Okay, visiting in the afternoon may bring clouds, but it might also bring rainbows. Look at this view! But starting early does also allow you to beat the crowds, and it has been very crowded this afternoon, so earlier the better. Definitely bring water. We did not bring water, and there's a couple small hikes that we wanted to do, but it is very hot up here, so definitely bring water. Also bring snacks. There is a little store up towards the top of the big lookout at the very end of the road, but other than that, there's not a lot of supplies around here. All right, speaking of snacks, there were two places that we ate on our way back to the airport that I have to shout out because they were pretty amazing. They were in the towns of Pauipu and Kaloa, so a little bit out of the way, but so worth it. The first place where we had dinner was Puka Dog Hawaiian-style hot dogs. The menu looks a little insane, like what are you getting into? But honestly, 10 out of 10, I cannot recommend enough. I have been in a hot dog phase recently, I know, don't ask me why, but this was delicious, even though the menu looks a little crazy. So I got the Polish dog with mild secret sauce, pineapple relish, and a little koi mustard. Highly recommend it. It's delicious. But knowing how good this is, I feel like we could go even weirder, like the banana or the coconut, because this is pretty good. Of course, no hot dog meal is complete without dessert, so we checked out the Fresh Shave. Honestly, this town was super cute in general, and we had a ton of fun walking around and shopping, but this shave ice absolutely made it. But fair warning, we had the dirt squirrel. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I honestly don't think I'll be able to eat shave ice the same way ever again. It was that delicious. I cannot recommend it enough. They also have a secret menu, which is super fun. So just a heads up, these guys apparently have a secret menu. I don't know where you can find that secret menu, but this is called the Imperial, and it's pretty dang good. It's a mix of two of their most popular flavors, and I highly recommend. Okay, my partner got the dirt squirrel or dirty squirrel or something, and it is like a coffee flavor, and it is so good. I highly recommend this one as well. I think I might prefer it, so I might have to steal it. Also, be sure to bring a light rain jacket. We lucked out today and we haven't got sprinkled on quite yet, but rain definitely looks like it's coming, and this is one of the wettest places on Earth. If you want to follow along on this road trip, I have saved all of our stops in a Google Maps layer, and I've linked that in the description below. Although please note that some of the coordinates are a little off, so make sure you're looking around in your surroundings, not just at the coordinates on the Google Maps layers. Waimea Canyon isn't just beautiful, it's a masterclass in Earth's history. Volcanoes that build, collapse, and rebuild themselves. This drive shows you that geology connects to the active processes that we explored previously in our last year's Volcanoes National Park video, and the massive scale that we covered in our Mauna Kea video. As always, I want to acknowledge that this land has a deep cultural significance to Native Hawaiians. While I'm sharing the geological story as a visiting scientist, I encourage you to also seek out Native Hawaiian creators and educators to learn about the rich cultural history and ongoing stewardship of this sacred place. So I want to know, what geological road trip do you think we should tackle next? Drop your suggestions in the comments. I am always looking for the next adventure. Also, be sure to subscribe for more geological adventures around the world, more roadside geology, and remember, every road trip is a chance to read the stories written in stones. See you next time.